Welcome, beautiful, divine masculine and feminine darlings. This is the Seraphim Gypsy, SeraFae Indigo Empress, and Shiloh Horizon. I don't plan to be here for too long. But I do have a reading in some channels. So first and foremost, I went to go pull out the bread starter to feed it this morning, as I have been. And there was an ant in it, a black ant. It's cold out. I assume they were also trying to get out of the cold, but there was a reference point in that of a karmic. I've been noticing. In fact, let's check on that. Some energies about karmics sending monitoring spirits and manifesting in the form of insects. Creepy crawly karmics. However, there's a message of this ant tried to get into something it wasn't supposed to, something that wasn't its to get into. And while it tried to snatch something that wasn't belonging to it and invade someone else's space, get into someone else's project, especially without permission or consent, they got all up in it, but then they got stuck. They got caught up in it. It was a sticky situation for them. I say this because here's the symbology for these karmics. This ant decided it was going to climb up into the bowl and eat some of the bread starter, but this stuff is so sticky, it got stuck in it like a fly trap. And then it couldn't get out, like quicksand, and it drowned in the fermenting starter. 222, so there was another reference. Like, what did I do with it? I tossed it out. Just in case it managed to trek its way from one point or the other. I didn't want any. I just, no, we're done. Out. And there was a karmic who wanted that, kind of a gloating energy. This being said, because I worked on that ferment for over a week, closer to 2. But here's the thing about that. I know how to build from the bottom up, so it's not like I can't do it again. And well, yeah, but it might take you 2 weeks. Yeah, no, it might take a week or so, give or take, to build a new long starter. But I also know how to make a quick start. That, if I make it tonight, it'll be proofed and ready to go by tomorrow. No, it's not a longer ferment. I like the longer ferments because they contain more of that gut healthy bacteria, which is the whole purpose of this. But I know how to make a quick ferment too. Meaning I could have another couple of loaves at least tomorrow. So, no. You thought you were doing something, but you thought wrong. Now let's see, shall we? These are people who wanted you to act out of character, be reckless, impulsive, over-emotional. Possibly because they wanted to be able to, again, take what was not theirs. They thought if we were distracted by whatever triggers that they were trying to cause, that they could maintain whatever false claims that they had been creating. I also had to reboot this live feed because when I came here there was no audio properly on it, and so they wanted to block the throat chakra. That's a no. This is either somebody who doesn't like females, a karmic male, toxic woman hater, misogynist, or this is a jealous karmic female. See, there it is. Hating on your creative ideas. Okay, we had a few more that fell over here. They can't clear out this energy. all that energy they were sending. I also picked up spell work. See, look, I also picked up spell work. There it is. There's your confirmation. Yep. Possibly ex-friends or family or exes. No. Ex-friends. Exes. There it is. No. They're not coming back. Not coming back, and you can't come with me. They can't clear it out with sage. I got it though. It's grounded level of protection, especially for those who've been targeted by people using their children, or people who were targeted because of those who are jealous of their parenting or their kids. Family, friends, and ex. Trying to gang up. It's the divide and conquer method. Because they're jealous. They're jealous of you for being authentic, but that's not the way to, they want to copy so bad, a lot of them, but the things that they're doing, including trying to copy people and step on people, we wouldn't do that. That defeats the whole concept and purpose of authenticity. That whole attacking people, especially out of jealousy, yeah, that can't relate. They already failed. Ooh, there it is. But that was in reverse. Not for the Karmics. But they're jealous. And they have no protection. But now they're stuck in their head. And possibly sick, feeling sick. Because they try to use people as a source for their energy vampirism, and this is backfiring. If not with seeming freak accidents, then in health or health failing. Yeah. Something about this backfiring on them big time. They're mad because they got blocked. I also picked something up about they're mad that if they claimed that they were the ones doing the blocking, right? They were the victim, and that we wouldn't leave them alone when we were telling people about how they wouldn't leave us alone. People were looking at them as if they're crazy, because it is. That was a pretty crazy thing to say and do. Love that. Okay, couple cards hit the floor. You have divine protection, my darlings, and so do I. Any kind of neighborhood drama and neighborhood evil eye, any issues people were trying to cause, especially out of jealousy, that's backfired. Yeah. If people were trying to slander and gossip about light workers, that's backfired. Or if these were the people who were targeting, these greasy, grimy people who picked some things up when they were for the streets and not protecting themselves, it's also backfiring, or has backfired onto them. Now I'm picking up, not just, but in one case, there is an ex-friend who's mad that they got cut off. Right? Energy vampire. Mad that the truth is being spoken about it. But also mad that they got cut off wherever it was. Somewhere. Doesn't matter. You saw it. So, what I was picking up was a Aquarius, Pisces. Toxic though. Toxic one. Palo Santo also came out, so there's a cleansing energy. And then you have, this is simply possibly even just using crystals against people who are trying to be hateful towards your spiritual belief systems. Yeah, they're mad because they got cut off. They don't want to be cut off. Here's the root energy. Whether they know it or not, it doesn't matter. They're sending nasty energy and there's karma for that. Because they should be minding their business instead. Yep. Earth side, you'll be able to be more aware of what this is, where it's coming from. These people are either influenced by dark demonic energies or they're calling on them. But they're being cleansed out as well. Yeah, see, there it is. They're mad because they got blocked. They didn't want to be blocked. Okay. I don't know who that's by. Whose bed have your boots been under? And it's a country song. It's a woman singing. She says, whose bed have your boots been under? Which is indicating that a man that she's been dating has been sleeping around with someone else. Like when he takes off his boots to get into bed with them, he puts them underneath the bed and tucks them out of the way. So he says, whose bed have you been sleeping in to the point where you've been organizing yourself and tucking your shoes underneath? You know what I'm also getting a flash of? It's like, let's say that this is a guy who's trying to sleep with a married woman, or a woman that knows that he knows is dating somebody. And it's like he keeps his boots right there, right tucked next to the corner of the bed, just in case the husband comes home and he can quickly grab his shoes and dart out the back door without tripping on anything. And also he knows where his stuff is. It's like he's preemptively organized himself to be able to grab his stuff as quickly as he can to try to escape, just in case the man of the house comes home. I'm like, what a wild thing. What am I picking up? I mean, I know what I'm picking up, but my good grief. Whew, goodness. Alrighty, so you know what I also picked up while we're on the topic of holy Lord Jesus? Yesterday I also picked up something about, it was a karmic male and he was using needles. Booting up, I hear. That's what he would call it, booting up. He was using intravenous drugs or getting ready to do so. I hear, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Now you're gonna have it your way or nothing at all. But I think you're moving too fast. Yeah, she says, he's got a natural affection for temptation that he just can't reach. Gives him loving that his body can't handle, but all he can say is, baby, it's good to me. Something about his mama's praying, but he just can't seem to stay out of trouble. Another body lying cold in the gutter. You see where that's going? That's typically a song, not always, but often, yeah, about, seems to be to me, heroin use. Another one I was picking up is Uncle Cracker. Many people would never know that about this song unless you understand it and listen to it clearly. Follow me, everything is alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night. And if you wanna leave, I can guarantee you won't find nobody else like me. Sounds like a breakup song, right? Until you listen to the next line and put it into context, which is, don't know how you met me, you don't know why, you can't turn around to say goodbye. Another also possible breakup line, unless you bring it into context. All you know is when I'm with you, I make you free, swim through your veins like a fish in the sea. It's about shooting heroin. Follow me, everything is alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night. Downers make people sleepy. And if you wanna leave, I can guarantee you won't find nobody else like me. It's referencing the addictive purpose or properties of it, rather. Let's do that one. Shall we? So this is the clarity on these unstable, insecure, uncertain karmics. There's a reference of lurkers, cross-watchers also. Pocket watching, because they see what's coming. Blessings. On the flip side, this may be that light workers, you don't necessarily know that all of these blessings are coming, but they are. It's divinely guided. It's answer to your prayers. And because it wasn't their fate to have them, there's nothing these people can do to snatch what's not theirs. Hold steady. Okay, so they're trying to hide things, right? Picking something up about gaslighting. Hold on. Precision, it didn't work. These people tried really hard to hide the truth. But what's actually happened is, instead of being precise in what they were doing, now people can very clearly see everything they were trying to hide. And even if it's not about sight, it's something about the other senses. It can be perceived in all ways. Also, I'm hearing they... Archangel Michael says, those dum-dums left a paper trail. So there's that. Yeah, it doesn't take a psychic to see that one coming. Omen in reverse. They just left. They're unintelligent humans. We'll leave it there. 1922. Also 4:20 here on the clock on the East Coast, but 1922 on the count. Cheers. like what I said, they're not smart humans. Wisdom in reverse. Also, something about if these people have been trying to play around in spell work, spirituality, oracle is here, claiming that they're prophetesses, claiming that they're priests, claiming that they're gifted on any level, even just simply intuitive or, you know, clairvoyant or whatever it is. If they've been, claiming that they have dreams or things like that. I'm like, people have dreams that are just dreams. Karmics have dreams all the time. Typically speaking, that guilty conscience that they try so desperately to dodge, which is where they're so busy projecting all of their shortcomings, faults, and attacks on others. It's your fault I attacked you, not mine, because I have no self-control. Like, no, get a grip. Get a grip. A lot of the time, that's just their guilt and the reality of the situation, trying to get them to see the truth. Their dreams are trying to reality check them. But often they wake up and they're spooked by them, and then so they get upset and further take out that anxiety on the light worker. It's your fault I had a bad dream about the fact that I'm guilty for attacking you. I need to attack you again and maybe I won't feel so bad. Like, all right. It's not like I can even say if that's what helps you sleep better at night, because it doesn't, but okay. We don't argue with idiots over here. That's a form of self-care. Thank you. Don't mind while I'm busy practicing what I preach and have been for years. Yeah, change. They didn't want things to change. Alchemy. They either tried to play with spell work to force things, or they tried to come at people or block people who know how to alchemize situation. Mm-hmm. And heal. Yeah, they should have listened. They should have been heeding messages, but they made poor choices and didn't seek the divine. They look at how it's not looking up, not looking forward, it's down, it's reverse, backwards. Also, speaking of, these are my ancestral languages, okay? Bloodline, first and foremost. Do you know why I have them this way? Because if people were to look at me, if my hand is this way and somebody's facing me, it's going to look like they're upside down. They're not upside down to me. That's the point. It's not about anybody else. It's not for anybody else. Okay. Something that these people don't understand. Just as a whole, that message is not, it goes much deeper than a few ancient symbols. Or bodily placements. These people were unethical and they were not upright. Michael says they were unjust. And they continue on their tirade because they truly think that they're right, or they thought that they were, or they gaslighted themselves into thinking or believing that. Shock of the new. They didn't want things to change. Some of them played with spell work or tried to force things this way because they didn't want things to change. In other cases, there's a reference of specifically trying to block the movement and the change of light workers. We were seeking to improve and balance our lives. They didn't want things to change. They didn't want us to grow into the versions of ourselves that would see past what they were doing and not tolerate it. They did not want us to evolve into our true strengths. They did not want us to walk away from them or let them go. As a result of that higher level of perception that comes with the awareness that someone might need to walk away from someone or something like that, those are not people who can be manipulated, right? So they also didn't want to lose the control that they felt like they had over someone or the situation, including by means of perception. That's often a way that people are mentally and emotionally controlled. It's not new, it's propaganda. When someone can't control a victim anymore, they try to control the way that that victim is seen by others. They do this by trying to control the narrative, meaning they lie about the situation, they claim that they're innocent or they're the victim when they're actually the aggressor or the perpetrator. I'm picking something up about also these are the same types of people who I've seen this before in a number of ways, whether it's that you lose something and this person helps you look for it, knowing full well that they actually are the one who stole it and have it in their pocket. Or I've also seen this, I saw it actually a few weeks ago on a true crime that I was watching. I don't think this was a new case if I recall, but it was a new, I was new to hearing about it. So there was this case where this woman was missing. And there was this huge search party, and it was really widespread. It hit the news and all this different stuff. But as it turns out, one of the search party members was actually the killer. And he was trying to, A, stay close to the case because that's one, how people try to control the situation or information, or two, they have a weird fixation and obsession still with the person or the situation or the energy of the case, and they just can't seem to get away from it, or the crime scene or whatever, even if it's not a known case. It's something that unfortunately criminals do, whether it's to try to force a flashback and like relive the emotions that they were feeling when they hurt a victim or something. They'll drive past the scene of the crime or the victim's house or whatever it is that they feel like they need to do to get that little thrill. Some criminals have even been known, like abusers, assailants will, especially male, will take a piece of jewelry or something from a female victim and then they'll go and give it to their wife. And she'll think it's just this nice thing that her husband bought her and was thinking about her, but that's not the case. In fact, he wants her to wear it while they're intimate, and it's because he's actually fantasizing about the victim while he's watching his wife wear the victim's jewelry. It's nasty. It's called surrogacy abuse. It's like reliving the experience through an object gratification. It's disgusting. Somebody says, how do you know all of this? It's criminology. Criminal psychology. So there's that. Hi, baby. How am I supposed to stop myself from loving you? Archangel Michael says that's not love, that's an obsession. Somebody's obsessed, dangerously obsessed, it sounds like. Yeah. He's a maniac on the floor. They're calling you crazy, Karmics. Yeah. See, the holy team sees what's up. These people are sketchballs. I don't trust them. Divine masculine says, so they tried to hold people back, yeah. However, that pull towards those future energies that we've been building towards and manifesting, yes, these divine blessings and counterpart connections platonically, in business, soul family, love, relationship, otherwise, those are still being pulled forward. Yeah. So it's like, even though you may still be in the same situation, or you may still have had the same toxic people trying to cause problems, right, in the environment around, that's the energy that this person is inside of, right, their own aura, who they are, what they emit. It does not match the energy around them at all. This is where they've been. This is where they've been stuck in, or this is where what karmics have done to their environment. But this is not who they are. So they've been manifesting something. Let's see what's behind this. Better, something that looks more like, yeah, like that. The throat chakra here. There's protection. It's giving Isis. That's a scarab. Protection. Yes, by honoring your emotions and weighing the balances. And recognizing what you don't resonate with anymore. Letting go of all else that does not serve you. More specifically, serve your highest growth. So trust your intuition. Butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. We're finally taking flight after finishing the drying of his wings. Here, you were made for this, or you were born for this. There's a song called Born for This by The Score. There's a karmic trying to do spell work because they're looking to upset the light worker. It sounds like divine feminine. It's a karmic female. She's jealous. She feels like divine feminine is calm and it's upsetting her, or she feels like divine feminine is more stable than she wants. So she's trying to do spell work, but that's already going to backfire. Just going to choke right on it. Yeah. They're trying to play with things that they know nothing about and shouldn't be touching. That they will not be able to recover from. They will not get healing either. There's a scarab. Priestess of the Phoenix. Yeah, especially because they're trying to mess with somebody who has ties to both realms, including resurrection and healing. Isis, Osiris. They are being fake and fraudulent, meaning they're powerless. They have nothing and no protection as well. Yeah. They were not, God did not call them to steal or copy or plagiarize or try to step on people's toes. And they have, again, they're not intuitive the way they claimed. They have no protection, no divine protection. This is High Priestess, Empress. This is Divine Feminine. This would be if it was here. This is what Divine Feminine has, especially those who've been protecting, defending herself and her children. This is the story of Isis and the 7 scorpions, and in this she's cloaked. She has a dark person after her. So she's protecting herself, and she's cloaked, and she asks this woman, this very wealthy woman, if she can have a safe place to hide from this guy overnight and just something to feed herself and her child with, just something small. And this woman said no, but she was being tested by the divine to see if she was greedy at this point in this particular case. And she failed. The protector spirits were very upset, and so they went back to this woman's house. The story goes that the 7 scorpions combined all of their venom into one, and they put it all into her child. And as a mother, Isis wasn't for this. She actually did heal a boy and pull out the poison, but the scorpion protectors told this woman, look, we'll fix the situation, but it's going to require you to forfeit your wealth, your surplus of wealth, because you tried to cast out the goddess who was divinely sent. And she did. It's also reminding me of the Ransom of Red Chief story. However, yeah, just heard sovereignty again. Isis didn't want any children to suffer, so she, in fact, did make a point to pull the poison out of this child. She especially didn't want to see the children suffer. And neither do I. It's why you've heard me call out these karmics when I'm picking up that their bad behavior is about to backfire onto their kids as a generational curse. It's not nice, and I don't like that. I don't want that even for them. They need to mind their energy. Yeah, because they're not in divine grace. What they did, especially to people's families, or that's affecting their children, Moon Tree, it's not hidden. Wasn't very smart or intuitive of them either. And they're not getting divine guidance because they tried to make hellscapes of Earth. So, yeah, that's why they don't have any intuition or any sense of peace. They're in sorrow, though. They're sad. They feel like they messed up. The light workers are coming out of their shells into the world like a butterfly. And I do know that there are unions coming through for the twins, but also these karmic couples who were causing chaos. Yeah, well, they're in trouble. Yeah, look, there are miracles for the goddess. As this eternal connection manifests back earthside, this is also them creating their own family, soul family. As they're being divinely guided together. messages you have before I go? I'm going to do a bit of Reiki though. Yeah, see. No, just go rest. Yeah. Something about giving the burdens to the divine, especially those who were caused to mother and child. It's a reprieve for divine feminine and our kids and the animals. Away from these silly karmics. Right, and don't give up. Anything else? It's not just for divine feminine, but yeah, I did pick up an emphasis on that. Wisdom. These karmics are not smart, dude. They're just not. Change your environments in reverse. They're snakes. Snakes! I need to kick it up a notch with some pillows and let's see. In fact, oh. 4:44 here on the clock on the East Coast. Okay. There's sovereignty Reiki coming through. There's also elemental and elevation Reiki. There's a karmic trying to come through and apologize for what they did. They didn't realize they were going to get themselves into what they got themselves into, either legally or definitely spiritually. Or they didn't realize the rank of the person they were charging at, running at. I'm hearing that's a beautiful idea. Thank you. Side note. Excuse me. Thank you. There's release Reiki. I am hearing forgiveness Reiki. Two things. Yes, if there are reparations that need to be made in regards to actual counterparts, then that's one thing. Or in situations where that's applicable. But for most people or a lot of people, those deaded situations need to and still need to stay deaded. So there are people trying to come through and come back. You can forgive people for what they did to you without ever speaking to them again. And sometimes you should. You can forgive people without ever telling them that you forgive them. And do you really need to? That forgiveness, when it's desired from a person who's not really sorry for what they did, it's for them. It's to ease their own sense of guilt. But truly, if they're the one who did you wrong, then why are you obligated to ease their stress and guilt over what they did to you? If they're not even really sorry for what they did, they just don't want to sit there and feel guilty about it. It's not somebody who cares about anybody but themselves still, showing that probably if they could do it again without getting caught, they would. So the forgiveness is not for them. Because typically speaking, these are people often who, especially if they didn't get caught or thought they wouldn't, they didn't have any guilt over what they did to you. They sweat it when they get caught. They hope that forgiveness will minimize them being caught or the penalty that comes with it, including just socially or stigmatically, energetically, karmically, or whatever combination in between, for starters. And so really the forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Especially if they didn't care and they didn't sweat the damage they were doing you, then they're not the ones who lost sleep over what they did to you, you did. So when you forgive them, it's not that it makes what they did okay. And it's not that you forgive them of the burden or the responsibility or the consequence of what they did. It's that you release yourself from especially the mental and emotional, in some cases what could be perceived as a prison of attachment or energetic, even thought process crossover to these people. You forgive them and you move on. You don't have to speak to them. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to tell them that you forgive them. And it doesn't make it okay. And they might still sweat over what they've done to you. But you become indifferent. It just doesn't matter anymore. You already let it go. You forgive them for being a clown. You just don't buy tickets to their circus, especially now that you see them for the monkey that they are. There's abundance Reiki, parallel Reiki coming through. So either people who have gone through what you've gone through on levels, vibe tribe members who understand instead of judge. They seek to empathize and support or help. That's what I'm picking up. On the flip side, there's also, I hear finance Reiki. Abundance and prosperity are different. Abundance can be anything. Having enough oxygen to breathe, that's abundance. Having enough love in your heart, in your life, that's abundance. Prosperity is more about materialism. 5122. The teacher. Yeah, so these karmics are having to learn the hard way that they're not these tricky little magicians and they can't just get everything in life the way that they want or the way that they tried to get it. They're learning that from somebody who's teaching them. I mean, for example, I did explain this to them. Some of them thought that they would try to prove me wrong. And now they're realizing the hard way that I meant what I said. Not just as me, who I am, but also as High Priestess. And they're realizing now that it's one and the same. I'm one and the same. We're one and the same. She's one and the same. Exactly. The muse. And I remember everything that they did. How mean and stubborn and hard-headed they were. Fans. Stands. Why are you so obsessed with me? Also, health is wealth, just saying. Yeah, whatever these people were trying to sell, nobody's buying it. Especially since they were lying, including about their credibility and accreditations. Yeah. It's like they weren't building anything, they were just taking from people, maybe claiming that they were nurturers, but even their whole concept and personality was copied from someone else, and they were doing it while being very unempathetic and not very nurturing. Yeah, while still trying to stay connected to the king, to the queen, but also trying to copy them at the same time. This is somebody who wants to sit back and lurk on you, hate on you, watch everything you do, copy everything you do, not support anything you do. They want to stay steady lurking on your feed. So they can sit there quietly from the nosebleed seats and hate, but also study you because they want to copy it for themselves. It's crazy. They want to be close enough to copy you, but they sit there and they throw hatred. Sneaky, thinking that they're creative. They can just create and manufacture a fabricated perception persona of themselves. Yeah, that didn't work out, did it? Yeah, they got exposed. Yeah. By the truth teller, 5422. By the Empress. Yeah, there's a karmic. You're not a teacher! That's hilarious. 5444. It's so funny. I haven't seen you charge for a single class, she says. But, you see, she's also studied me. And everything I do, every move I make, she even copied my website. Like what? Oh, like a fan. Oh, like a student. Yeah. Just because someone didn't charge for lessons didn't mean they weren't teaching, clearly. Grifter. Stop stalking my socials. You're not worth it. I'm not even going to say your name again. You don't get the attention or 55. You're giving me attention. Oh, I know. You're an energy vampire. It's one of those things where sometimes you've got to slide your credentials across the table, ma'am. And that's what I've done. But here's the gag. I now call all of my power back to me, and I bind everything that these karmics send straight back to them, times infinity. Also, anything that all these silly people were trying to hide, that they didn't want to expose anything they were trying to manipulate. Yeah, thank you for stripping that straight down to bare bones. Cheers. Until you do right by me, everything you even think about is going to crumble. Everything you think about is going to fail. Checkmate. Watch. It's prophecy. Signed, sealed, delivered. With a divine stamp. Not because I said so, but you're about to learn the hard way. Karmic. I find it quite foolish. Divine Masculine says, I don't know what's wrong with these people. I don't know why they try you. Oh, that's a good question. They're gravely misjudging the situation and their targets. It's funny. I'm not even going to get into it. They'll figure it out the hard way. But what they're saying and thinking shows me that they don't truly understand manifestation at all, let alone at its core. Yeah, I think they do. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Otherwise, you wouldn't be misjudging and saying the things that you're saying. Because I have statements and arguments to each of the things that you're saying to show you that you're wrong, but I'm not even going to waste the time on you. You'll figure it out the hard way in a minute. But, like I said, this is not somebody who really wants to learn or really correct themselves. They just want to argue and be right. They just wanted to be right. They always need to be right. They always wanted to be the center of attention. But they're not. That's the problem. And they thought that they were smart at all, or smarter than they were, or smarter than the person they tried to target. But, well, all evidence is pointing to the contradictory at this point. 5922. Okay, baby. They're trying to be bullies. What's up with these people? They're insecure. It's a karmic female. She's very angry. Yeah, now she's sad and bummed out. She won't even entertain me. No, not worth it. She knows what I'm doing. Yeah. She's like trying to bait. It's like reactive abuse, but she's angry. She's just aggressive and looking to pick a fight. I'm not playing her silly little game. But there's a karmic male energy too. He's nasty and aggressive. Yeah, a karmic female says she didn't take the bait. You're stupid. I can't stand to see you shine. Better by a visor. Yeah. Vacation. They have no peace. They have no protection. Nobody wants to, nobody cares about them. These people are shadows, shadow people. Told you. It's giving incubus, succubus energy. They're just vampires. They wanted to try to cause trouble, issues, drama. They tried to blame the victims for the damage they were causing, but it actually backfired. Now people see them as bullies, first of all, and then also victim blamers. That's a no. There's protection here for the light workers. Yes, either they were being reckless, that got exposed, or they wanted the light worker to react, reactive abuse impulsively. No. Yeah, they were just doing spell work, some of them, I would say. That was a bad choice. Abundance, prosperity, told you. Jealous much? Because they lack creativity. So they try to block or stifle other people's because they think it makes them look better in comparison. You shouldn't be competing where you don't compare. You shouldn't be competing at all. It's where you went wrong. You should have minded your own business. Defeats the whole purpose of personal growth, boo-boo. The second you decide to start trying to compete with someone else, personal growth is about yourself. The second you start competing with someone else, it's no longer about yourself. It's about you trying to, I guess, project your own insecurity issues on other people. Weird. Weird. But like, do you understand what you look like? Trying to compete with someone because you want to make it look like you're better at living their life or being them than they are. But really what it shows and what it looks like from the outside looking in, what everybody else sees is that you hate yourself. You are so miserable. You do not like yourself to the point where you are so desperate to try to force yourself into someone else's life, feet, shoes, and even dirty drawers. Goodness forbid. You crazy pants. You crazy pantaloons, no pun intended. It's just not a cute look. Nobody wants to be around that. Because we pick up that energy and it's toxic. Yeah. You little demon, nightmare demon. Trying to energy vampire and harvest from other people. No. People aren't jealous of you because they see that you were jealous of us. That you were trying to cause hate brigades. But what does that say about you? If you had to get gaggles of people to come and gang up with you against somebody else who's perfectly capable and content with just standing there all by themselves. How shameful. That's why you're getting your behind kicked by the divine, Karmics. Nobody wants to hear it. People see that you either tag teamed with somebody's ops or you behave just like them, meaning you're either way an op. Oh, look, these cards just tried to fly out. Hold on. They tried to hit the floor. I wouldn't let them. See, they wanted to. This was in reverse, though. They're going to make themselves sick, trying to make other people sick, and they've got no protection for trying to put other people in bad spots where they might need protection. Again, no creativity, trying to target an air sign that backfired. This may have been an air sign doing the targeting in some cases. I have been picking up that that's the case, actually. Yeah. They're being cleansed out. They tried to cause anxiety for people that they're jealous of, who are just who they are authentically. These people got exposed for being fake. That's fool's gold. Ah, see? Jealous of divine feminine, the mother, or for being a mother. Told you. Keep picking up this Pisces, Aquarius, toxic. This fire sign card came out too. In fact, the trine of this person is Sagittarius, Pisces, Aquarius. Yeah, I know. It's because they want me to be quiet. Maybe somebody in your family in some cases, or they may have been trying to turn people against you, or this may be somebody trying to stalk your family, or like I said, maybe somebody going to, oh, I've seen this before. Say somebody doesn't like you. Say somebody doesn't like a divine feminine, and they know that she has an ex that's abusive. They'll go and try to click up with him and tag team against a divine feminine with an ex they know already has a predisposition to be hateful and abusive towards her. But what kind of person are you? What does that say about you, dude? Everything. To the point where I need to say nothing else about it. You did it for me. Ew. Bye. Yeah, how's that going to play out for them? I hear it's not. Heard. Well, guess what? Yeah, I know. Bye. Yeah, when your car shits the bed, remember that. When you get in a crash or something. When you seem to have freak accidents or you wake up and you've got issues, remember that. How you were jealous also, especially as a motive. It's ugly. It's very ugly of you. Very ugly behavior. Certainly not very becoming. Not one bit. Not even a little. Not of any of them, not of anybody, not of any single one of them. There's a karmic male, he says, oh, she's too calm. She's got something up her sleeve. She's nervous, you see. He's feeling like he misjudged the target. And I've been picking that up all day, in fact. Because of the community posts that I channeled out this morning. All of those were channels, by the way. Karmic says, those aren't channels. You didn't say those were channels. I don't have to. I don't have to. And you're not supposed to be here. They're not for you. They're not for you. You're not intuitive enough to discern what they are anyway. They're not for you. It's not your vibe. It's not your frequency. It's not your collective karmic. You little trash bag. Basura. Well, anyway, moving on. Back to the main point of that. You didn't say those were channels. I don't have to. And all of the things that were channeled, from the songs to the little clips, all of those messages, those were either bits of dream that I picked up or a download or something. And while I might not write it out as God said this, or however sometimes I do write it out, I, as the messenger, am still, even though I may speak it from, there are different ways to articulate something, third person, first person, etc., etc. While I may not be articulating it verbally from, thank you, that's a good one too, as I'm getting another download. From one point or another, I may be speaking as myself, but that doesn't mean that what I'm speaking about wasn't entirely just channeled on a download. Here's another one for you that I picked up on the cuff. I've been picking this up for a while too. Sometimes I will, let's say that there's a channel about a karmic I'm picking up. Really, it could be anybody, even divine masculine. And I'll say, I might switch between speaking about the karmic to referencing the word you, as if I'm speaking to them. And it's not speaking to them. In many cases, it's an articulation of the light worker side of an argument and what will be said in the situation in response. It's not to a particular person. Now, plenty of people come here, individually different people, and get triggered by those things. But for me to say, like, why did you do that, karmic? That's not me speaking to a specific karmic. I mean, it could be. That statement can be applied in a situation like that theoretically, but it's more of a generalized statement like, well, that was stupid. It's not necessarily towards anybody. It's just about the situation. Why did you do that? Why did they do that? It's not to anybody, but it is the generalization. And typically, yeah, that's what it says. Well, that was dumb. Because I've been picking that one up for the last 3 weeks. Lots of karmic projections, but the bottom line is they keep misjudging and misreading the situations on people. They assumed because of what I was channeling and therefore posting this morning that I must be super wickedly angry, which is why they came on presumptuous and aggressive, and they were seeking to hope to provoke a combat. But they're not being allowed to come through. They are blocked out. Yeah. Because it already backfired. It's not a secret that they're stalking. It's not a secret stalker. Toxic earth sign energy. That was the karmic male energy I picked up. Actually. That they don't have protection. Or any divine connection. Certainly no intuition. They made terrible choices. Energy vampires. Possibly on drugs and alcohol. And what did I tell you about the ant? Bye. But the joke is on them, because what I'm actually going to do is another ferment tonight. I'll make sure to do, I might do both. I might do a longer ferment and then just do a quick ferment, and that'll be done tomorrow. But I'll at least do the quick ferment and I'll have more tomorrow. Joke's on you. And I'm making some more juice. So you wasted your time and energy. And you misjudged the targets. You should just leave people alone and learn your lesson. Yeah, karmic female says, we're not going to do that. Oh, I know. Which is why God is putting you down. Right in your place where you belong. You know what they do to rabid dogs, right? You can't cure rabies. Karmic female said, that was mean. No, you are. You were just trying to be combative and a bully and threaten. But now you can't. You don't like the defense. Remember, you wanted to try to pretend to be a queen in reverse. Bully yourself right to the top while claiming you're something you're not. But you came at a warrior, queen, empress. You see, I'm the type of queen, darling, who you want to go to war beside, not against. Because I'm not the empress who will sit on the throne with her feet up. Yeah, no, bitch, I'll stand on the front line, and you'll regret it. I have ancestors of many kinds. Yes, royals. Gifted spiritual people. Artists. Creators. Inventors. Revolutionists. People who make positive changes for society in benefits as a whole. Positive benefits as a whole. But also warriors. And like myself, many of those ancestors, while they carried the crown, they also stood in battle. You had me on the front lines, while you were sitting on the sidelines. Don't think that you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. While you were sitting but you can waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. Your push off. Go ahead and push off. Cheers. Here's some cord healing, cutting, closure Reiki as well. And there's also some past life clearing to remove any previous cycles and ties from some of these people that have made them obsessively want to keep trying to connect with us, even though we've said to leave us alone. Karmic is scared. There's nothing we can do. She's got a solution for everything. Yeah, and I told you this first up. First up. And they did not want me to speak, right? Where was it? It came out earlier. They wanted me to be quiet, but I had to reboot this feed, remember? Because there was no audio on it when I came here to do this earlier. So they tried, but that's a no. God said no. Drop it and leave it alone. The karmic male energy is still trying to be combative. Hold on. Oh, that's the wrong one. Well, I guess you're going to get it now, boy. Because that means I've got twice the cards to pull on you. I feel like I need to start with these. That's what I went to grab first anyway. Haters will always gaslight. Told you. Except for it's not working because I already warned you about it and we already know. We anticipated that. Didn't we? Yeah, stealing your ideas and pretending they invented them, except for people know what you did and frankly, that's your bullshit. I just heard that. I'm not going to support you anymore. Who needs you? You weren't. Good riddance. People see that you're a thief because you lack creativity and you don't know when to mind your own business. What's wrong with you? Well, that's not a good excuse. Loki in love with you? Yuck. Yeah, well, all evil eyes go blind. Boom. Can't copy, can't compete where you don't compare. Haters are mad because they see you winning. They're going to stay mad. They'll try to play the victim once they know they're losing. Really remember that you just tried to be a bully, so that's a reject immediately in advance. Trying to cause you paranoia, that came out twice. That's a no. Why would they be trying to do that? I wonder though. I already know the answer, but I want you to think about it. 5:22 on the clock here on the East Coast. Why would they be trying to cause you paranoia? See, heard that. Sounds like projection to me. That's my point. Thank you. Why would they be trying to cause you paranoia unless they were paranoid and trying to make themselves feel better and like they were in control of the situation by flipping the script or projecting it outwards? Yeah. Run, Karmic. I hear Runaway Love by Ludacris. Yuck. That's a song about a little girl being abused. They can't hate on your gifts and abilities anymore. Sounds to me like this is a karmic male who's spooked because something that I got called out or exposed came true. Some kind of prophecy came true or exposed him, or a prophecy came out that he thought was a secret, and there's no way. It's like people around him know that that's really what went on. He really got in trouble for that, or his family knows that he's really done that, or there's something that got spoken about in a prophecy, and it's been a holy crap. There's no way she could have known that unless she was legit psychic. And well, that's in fact exactly what happened, and they're learning that the hard way. Yeah, that's why people don't want to help them. They see that they're bullshit, but I am not. And neither is my collective. They're being punished for their wrongdoings. They didn't want you to know about it either. If they tried to flip the script to get you in trouble or target you or have you targeted for some reason, that's also why they're catching karma, and in some cases what they're in trouble for. Nobody's buying their bull anymore. In some cases, people are confessing to what they did now. Yeah, because it's time to balance the scales, or they're being balanced in your favor. The energy work you did on yourself is working. So keep holding and clearing your own space and energy. I will continue to help as I'm called to do. So, and know that the energy work that they've been trying to do or paying to have done, or the spell work or readings they've been trying to get on people, whatever they've been doing, that's a no. Yeah, no. Told you. When they realize they can't beat you, then they want to try to come back and join you. If not at all, then again, that's a no. Stay gone. And I forgive you for being a clown, sure, but they constantly try to convince people that they're this and that. You're not. You haven't learned your lesson. Stay gone. We're good. Deuces. No. You bite the bullet. See ya. Haters will try to convince you just to give up. No. It's because they can feel your come up. And they wanted to try to one-up you. No. People who were superior wouldn't do that. Yeah, exactly. You're talented and they're not. And they know that. That's why they're threatened. Their finances will perish for trying to copy you or mess with yours. Told you. They're in their head because they feel like you one-upped them, but they wanted to try to one-up you. So imagine the ego blow when they wanted to make themselves feel better by trying to one-up you, and now they feel like you one-upped them. This was in reverse though. It's not working. This is the epitome of that situation where when I say these are people who will try to make themselves feel better by hurting you or hurting your feelings. They bank on boosting their own self-confidence by trying to knock down yours. So imagine how they're walking up feeling too hot to trot, right? And they think they're going to take some kind of low blow or dig at you, and it's going to hurt your feelings, and it's going to make them feel so good and so much taller than you. And then it doesn't hit at all, let alone the way that they intended for it. It rolls off like water on a duck's back, and they just look stupid and like a bully. Imagine banking on making yourself feel better by hurting someone else, and it doesn't work. Fake who? Where? Yeah. Told you. Psychos. But who's fake? Can't stand that you got it made. You know why I got it made that way? Because I made it like that. Bite it. What kind of person would do that? Somebody who's biting it. Who's going to bite it. Because they were so mad at the messenger for speaking the message. But really, that means they're mad at God, because where did it come from? Yeah, they can't even do that anymore. They mock you when they feel jealousy towards you. They can't even do that anymore. Yeah, they're mad because they got cut off. Some of these people may have been people trying to cause you legal issues that backfired. Told you. Trying to make themselves feel better. What kind of person would do that? Not a very tall one. I also told you that earlier. They either call on dark energies or entities, or they are just weak and they are basically vehicles for them to drive around in, like possessed almost. They want to see you suffer so bad. But yeah, but what would ail or drive somebody to be like that or do that? What's wrong with you? Oh no, I know. It's simply being the opposite. You see, it's easy to low blow and undercut and try to be a sneaky, grimy little bitch the way that they do. If it was so easy being who we are, actually having moral integrity and doing the right thing even when it wasn't convenient or easy, then they'd fucking do it. You dig? They'd do it. But they can't, which is why they didn't. And I think it's really quite funny that they still just keep trying to project. My haters bring me clarity and popularity. I am that bitch. Get the hell off my dick. They can't. See, they claim that the light workers who are not tolerating their toxicity are so evil, but it's because they can't even see their own reflection or they don't like it. It's why they keep trying to copy other people and deny anything that they've done or project their own qualities onto others. If they weren't such terrible people, then why do they keep trying to project the things that they don't like about themselves onto others? It just make sense. And if we're such terrible people as they claim to try to discredit us, why do they keep trying to copy us? You'd think if we were as terrible people as they claim we are when they're jealous of us, then they wouldn't try to be exactly that, right? Make it make sense. Your contradictions blew your cover, bitch. Alrighty. Yeah, well, that's backfire. Being divinely protected and hating on your come-ups, that backfired. Yeah, they wanted you to be sick to your stomach. That backfired. Yeah, we know. But it's because they're irrational. This is what their backfire is. They're uncontrolled and toxic. Fake witches hating on you, trying to one-up you. Told you. What did I tell you about the winds and the spell work? In the beginning of this. Now you see it's settled down. I noticed it a few more times in this. I was quiet about it, but I told you it was spell work, and I warned you about it earlier this past week, and there you go, and here it is. Now it's quiet. Bye. Bums. Scummy bummy bums at that. Scummy bummy bottom feeders. Haters can't do shit to you. They're lacking in abundance. They see your true potential and are threatened by it. I told you, called it. Yeah, see, I told you. They can't even do that anymore, though. When they mock you, when they're jealous, it was in reverse. So they tried to mock you, but people saw that it was because they were jealous. And so again, they exposed themselves. You tried to avoid drama, but they were just so jealous and hateful and toxic and nasty that they were pushing it. So stand up for yourself when you need to. Now they're regretting it. Yeah, I heard that. Ooh, you done goofed. You made a bad choice. You did the wrong thing when you came after the storm angel. Oh, X. Yeah, see, it's a toxic, nasty, abusive little twat. That's what I just heard. Trying to stir the pot and turn others against you. Yeah, well, precisely. Nasty, abusive, monstrous little twat who doesn't know when to mind their own business or leave people alone and then gets so offended when they're called out just like that. Well, she called me a little twat. Boy, you tried to destroy her life and harm her children and kill her. Shut the front door. Yeah. See, they wanted to block your movement in life because they feel like it's easier to control people that way. What's wrong with you, Heard? Yeah, that's a good question. Estranged friend or someone, I told you, you're no longer acquainted with. 9322. Watching your successes and achievements has made them bitter. Then don't watch. Do you ever think of that? They're hoping for your downfall. Yeah, well, hold your breath and wait for me to fail. I'll make sure your mama puts a nice quote on your gravestone. Just kidding. You don't deserve that. Just kidding. That's between... I heard that. God, your mama and me. Well, I guess it does have... I guess I do have some say in that, don't I? Archangel Michael says, yes, because you're Seraphim. Well, touche. Bite the bullet. Yeah, I bet. Now, to be clear, do I wish those things for people? No. But what I am saying is those silly little death spells that they just tried to send. Oh, baby, those are going to hurt. As they continue to backfire onto the people who sent them. It was not a good choice. If God called me to pull out my dormant gift that is intentionally kept dormant regularly, it's not very often I pull this out, of a spiritual assassination, which I do not use yet lightly. I've had for many years. I wasn't called to use it for many years, and I've only been called to pull out a few times. It's because they were relentless and ruthless, and they did not stop. They did not stop when God told them to leave us alone, and they did not stop when we told them to leave us alone repeatedly. I think because we give them chances, some mercy and compassion, and we give opportunities for them to use their free will to get themselves in check and just stop. They think there's nothing we can do or will do. That is false and a terrible, 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 grave underestimation of your target. Just saying. Picking up a divine masculine also coming through, and they're jealous. Maliciously wishing you harm and misfortune. Exactly. So, hey, I don't feel bad for pulling out the swords. Warrior. See, they wanted people to just be so sad and crying and upset. And then they go and they gossip. Or they come and they stalk and they try to cause incidents and then just flip them out of context because they want to recruit gang stalkers. Yeah, they're upset. You made me look bad. What, by telling the truth? I guess that means you are bad. Little to no motivation towards things you were ambitious and dedicated about. Also, for example, the bread thing. They wanted to destroy the progress that I'd made in building that, and then also make me just want to give up on it, not know. Not only can I build another long ferment, but I can easily do an overnight one too. I could do both. I could start both tonight, have stuff to make tomorrow, and then keep building through the next week. And you don't mind your business. See, this is the analogy of the brown thumbs who tried to snatch a green thumb's garden, and because they're destroyers, the Fomorian demons, not the fairies, they want property, they want the land, but then they destroy everything they touch. It's like the Midas touch. They just destroy everything. Midas touch on the negative, where he can't even eat because he goes to try to take a bite of a chicken wing and it breaks his teeth because it's turned to gold. Yeah, no. Greedy. That greed became a curse. 97:22, that's the moral of that story. So yeah, I see it. It's like karmics are trying to, it's like there's a plate. It's a metaphor of the divine setting a table for the light workers and a feast at this table that these karmics cannot, they don't have permission to sit at. And somebody tries to go grab something off of a light worker's plate, a blessing, and God slaps their hand away. It's not for you. It's not yours. Told you. They're holding on to grudges. They wanted you to be scared. They envy your physical appearance. That came out twice. So they want you to be scared and be just spooked for no reason, but that's how they're feeling because they know that they're in trouble. And so in this analogy, the green thumb, right? Karmic comes into the green thumb's garden where they planted all the seeds and they tilled the soil and they grew this beautiful garden. This karmic was so jealous of, and just as everything's almost at peak ripeness, ready to harvest, the karmic comes in and kicks the light worker out of their own garden and says that it's theirs, like the man on the moon. They put a flag down and they stake their claim, and they claim that it was their land from the beginning. They claim that they're the ones who tilled the soil, built the garden. They claim that it was never the green thumbs, and they claim if the green thumb says otherwise, then the green thumb is lying. That the green thumb had nothing to do with the garden, not building the garden, has nothing to do with the garden, therefore should not be able to have the harvest because the karmic has claimed it. Including the land that the harvest is on, more specifically the garden. But then they go in like a storm and they start tearing through the garden and eating things, and they take a bite of one piece of fruit or vegetable and they toss it on the ground, and they just go through and they waste things and they step on good plants, and they're destructive. Because they're destructive, things start to die and wilt, and not only do they not know how to regrow, they don't know how to repair what they've done. They didn't know how to prevent that in the first place because they're not green thumbs. They're not gardeners. And then everybody in the town is looking at them funny. 10022. Or first they say, well, it shouldn't be a big deal, right? You're a green thumb. You're a gardener. You know how to fix this, right? But they don't. They don't know how to prevent. They don't know how to repair. They don't know how to rotate and cycle crops to re-nourish the soil. They don't. So then everybody starts figuring out that they lied and it wasn't theirs in the first place, that they straight up took someone else's garden and stole their harvest. Because the same person that these karmics, the gardener, the green thumb, that these karmics, these brown thumbs, these black thumbs claimed wasn't a gardener at all, it wasn't their garden, they never had anything to do with the garden, they left and they built their own garden from the ground up, and people saw that. So these karmics claimed that the light worker they stole everything from wasn't even a gardener, but just in trying to go and rebuild their own piece of land after the first one was snatched, just by observation, people from the outside looking in could see that that was a disproven claim from these karmics. It was a lie. And then these karmics needed somebody to blame. it's their fault. It's the Green Thumb's fault that my garden is dead. And everybody says, whoa, 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 hold on, slow your roll, back up, rewind. Didn't you say in the very beginning, when you said that this was your garden, that not only was the Green Thumb not a gardener, but they had nothing to do with this land, not the garden or anything else, which is why you claimed that stake of the harvest that was clearly theirs, that you took from them in the first place? You claimed that they weren't a gardener at all, but then we just watched them go and build a new garden after you kidnapped their first one. Yeah. 102.22. That's like lying and saying that you are fluent in Spanish because you think it looks good on your resume, not realizing that the only reason this particular job picked you was actually quietly, secretly, because they really needed a Spanish translator, which may have easily well been part of the job, but it didn't necessarily say that on the application, except for because on your application you lied about being fluent in Spanish. They thought maybe you were a better candidate than all the other people who actually were qualified to do the job, you see. So this person who lies about being fluent in Spanish shows up for the job on day one, and they're all excited because they think that they've lied and manipulated their way with a fake resume into getting themselves a job that they are underqualified to be paid for, that they are not qualified to do. But they think that they'll never be caught in because they think they're smart enough to lie to get the job, right? They'll figure it out as they go, except for they don't realize that the boss quietly picked their resume because of the Spanish fluency claim. And on the first day of their job, they're not going to be sitting quietly at a desk and just filling out papers or taking notes. No, the boss had a client that they were trying to get to sign with the business and the company, but there was a language barrier, and wouldn't you know, it was Spanish. So they send this Karmic in. Karmic thinks they're just going to be able to watch and sneakily try to go with the flow and cheat, right? Figure it out as they go. Just take simple instructions and fake it until they make it, except for they walk in and the boss says, okay, I've got this client. I know I didn't ask you this when I was hiring you, and I didn't talk about this in the hiring process or the application, but I actually have this overseas client or prospect that I really would like to secure as a client, and I want you to go in, I need you to go in and translate for me. What is that Karmic to do? They don't speak Spanish. Now they've wasted the client's time and day because they're sitting there waiting for the translator. It doesn't look good for the boss or the company. The Karmic looks stupid and like a fraud. Fired on the spot. Yeah, good job. Good job, Karmics. Good job. They feed off your confidence. They have none, 'cause you got no confidence like me. You only wanna run around those streets. You are for the streets, you little rats. 105.22. Yeah, Karmic X is hella jealous of you because you're doing better than ever. And I needed you to lose you to love me. They try to keep gaslighting, but nobody's buying their nonsense, not us or anybody else. Alrighty then. Closure Reiki. It's just to finally close up those cycles once and for all. This is also to clear out those energetic cycles and situations so that you don't feel like you need to have conversations to have closure. Sometimes that's what people want, especially toxic exes. Just one more conversation. Or like, what is it? Breakup sex? That's bullshit. Don't do that. Because it's not often about the closure. Usually that's their attempt to lure you back in, to play up on your emotions, to trap you. Hoovering. Don't even play that game. Okay. goodness gracious. Yeah. Karmic says, I wish I hadn't done that to her because there's not a problem she can't fix, but I'm going to catch karma for all of them. Yeah, all of the problems that you tried to create that she then had to turn around and try to solve. Yep, yes you are. I should have known that God would just keep giving her solutions. That's why we started trying to steal from her in the first place. That's what they're realizing. And sometimes this was their justification. Well, God will just give them another idea. It doesn't matter if I steal from them. Yeah, God saw everything, didn't he? You little weirdo. 108.22. Silly little goose. Why are you like this? All right. I will very likely be back at some point with some more energy work, but in the meantime, remember to pray, do no harm, take no crap, and I'll catch you on the next one. Blessings and namaste.